Hello, and welcome to Robert's Tech Corner, your source for all things technical. In this video, I will explain how to replace a two-way on and off light switch in the house. Before we begin, go to your circuit breaker box and turn off power going to the light switch that you will be working on. First, remove any screws holding the light switch face plate in place. Then remove any screws holding the light switch in place. Now slowly pull out the light switch to expose the wires. All of the wires coming from the bottom of the light switch housing box come from the circuit breaker box. All of the wires coming from the top of the light switch housing box go to the light fixture housing box. There are just 3 wires coming from the bottom of the light switch housing box, and I have labeled them: black live hot, white neutral return, green ground. These little devices are called wire nuts, and they are made of plastic. Whenever you connect 2 wires together, you will twist the 2 bare ends of the wire together and insert them into a wire nut. Now unscrew all 3 wires going to the defective light switch. If this is a builder's grade light switch, all 3 wires will be pushed into slots directly in the back of the light switch near the corresponding screws. For this type of light switch, you will need a small flathead screwdriver to slowly pry out all 3 wires from the slots. When you go to buy a new on and off light switch, make sure you buy a single pole, single throw light switch. It will say SPST on the box. Also, when you go to buy a light switch, make sure it is rated 120 volts at 15 amps. Hold the switch so you can read the on and off positions. If the top of the switch says off, make sure you turn the switch to the off position. Then rotate the switch so the off position is on the bottom. Then connect the bottom black wire to the brass screw on the bottom right hand side of the switch. Then connect the top black wire to the silver screw on the top right hand side of the switch. Then connect the bottom green wire to the green screw on the bottom left-hand side of the switch. They call this switch a single pole, single throw light switch because when this switch is in the on position, there is a single metal pole that will allow current to travel from the bottom black wire to the top black wire. After the current goes to the light fixture, it lights the bulb, then leaves the light fixture through the white wire and goes back to the circuit breaker box. If the bottom black wire supplying current to this switch ever came loose and came in contact with the body of the switch, you will receive a shock. This is why the green screw is screwed directly to the body of the switch. If the body of the switch ever became live with current, the current would travel through the green wire and back to the circuit breaker box. When current returns back to the circuit breaker box through the green wire, this will cause the circuit breaker supplying current to this device to turn off. Depending on the state that you live in and the electrical codes, the housing box may be made of metal. If this is the case, there will be an extra green ground wire coming from the green ground wire nut and going directly to the green screw located somewhere on the housing box. Now push the wires back into the wall, then screw the light switch back into place, then screw the light switch's faceplate back into place. Now go back to your circuit breaker box and turn on the power going to the light switch that you were working on. If you have any questions about this video or how anything else works, please feel free to contact me.